I love the transition. You mentioned golf, and John, I thought of you, and Gary Carter, our producer, can back me up on this. I said I need to talk to somebody. Now I can't tell you everything I wrote to him, but I was essentially said I need somebody who can talk for real about what's happening between LIV Golf and the PGA and this fight, and I call it like a money war in real time. They're going back and forth. But when you're the PGA and you lose your number two, the number two ranked player in the world, a young guy, to another tour, I mean, this is serious. What's happening here? And I get the feeling that we're not at the end of it. Where are we in the middle of this fight? How do you assess what we're seeing right now? Because it's hard to keep up. These names keep popping up every day.
Yeah, well, we're certainly not anywhere near the end of the fight. It's going to be fought in court. It's going to be fought between the PGA Tour and LIV. And you know what's interesting? As big as losing Cameron Smith is, and it's huge, the tour actually didn't have as bad a day as you think, because the rumors last week were that both Hideki Matsuyama and Patrick Cantlay might go too. And Matsuyama in particular would have been a huge loss because of the Japanese audience. And they both opted to stay. Now they could still go sometime later. The offer could get upped, who knows? But losing Cameron Smith is a big deal. Losing Harold Varner III is a big deal because he's one of the few black players, successful black players on the PGA Tour. And he's a great guy. He's the guy you would like out there as one of your spokesmen. I know Harold very well. I wrote about him at some length in my most recent book, Raise a Fist, Take a Knee. So those are big losses. And what was fascinating last week was hearing Jay Monahan basically saying, okay, we're going to follow the LIV model. We're going to have 20 tournaments with only 60 players. LIV has 48 in their tournaments. We're going to have a team events on Monday night, backed by Rory McIlroy and Tiger Woods, who are the two biggest names in golf still, even though Tiger barely plays anymore. He's still the biggest name. And we're going to pay huge dollars the way LIV has paid huge dollars. And there was a Greg Norman, who is not what you would call the model of being a gracious winner. He once won the British Open and said afterwards he was in awe of himself, put out a tweet.
Don't we all say that? Don't you say that when you finish a manuscript?
I'm in awe of my incompetence, yes. I need my 11-year-old daughter to get me on a computer most of the time. But
yeah, me too.
Norman tweeted after the big announcement last week in Atlanta, and it said, Jay Monahan, quote, "Hey, Greg, can I copy off your homework?" And then Greg, "Yeah, but don't make it look so obvious that everybody knows what you're doing." Point being, a lot of what the tour is now doing is an absolute copy of LIV. And it is. And so we're going to see this internecine battle going on for a while. It's great for golfers because they're making a heck of a lot more money. I don't think it's great for golf. I think what's best for golf is the best players together.
Okay. Now that's interesting, because I was going to say, you just took the words out of my mouth. I said, I know there's a political side of this argument.
Right, and I should have brought up the whole Saudi thing, because that's part of the story, huge part.
Yeah, that's part of the story, but we need, for us to really investigate that fully, we need some professors and we need think tanks and all that stuff just to really break the whole thing down. So I understand there's a political aspect to it, but just money-wise, it is good for golfers when there's competition, when you have leverage. You know this. I mean, you have leverage. Okay, it's good for everybody. But I'm interested in you following up on this. You said it's not good for golf. Why not? You have good golf being played all around the world. Why isn't that good for the sport?
Well, I think it's best for every sport when you get the best players playing against one another. That's what makes the majors special, is that all the best players show up to play. And now it's possible in the future that some or all of the LIV guys might not be able to play in majors. The PGA Tour is going to try to make that happen through the official World Golf Rankings. I don't know that they'll be able to, but even so, the lesser tournaments, the non-majors, you're not going to have the best players playing week in and week out because they're split. Some of them are with LIV, some of them are with the tour. And it's funny about the money. I mean, we can laugh at it because it's money you and I can't even comprehend. But Sergio Garcia early on said to Rory McIlroy, who I think is as bright as any athlete I've ever met, well, now maybe we'll get the money we deserve. And Rory looked at him and said, Sergio, we're golfers. We don't deserve anything. And the point is, you know, they're making great money and good for them. But, you know, the first responders deserve more money. Teachers deserve more money, not athletes. Athletes are making, the best athletes are making plenty of money. And I'm not knocking what LIV is trying to do. Although the Saudi government and their backing makes me very uncomfortable for obvious reasons. Right. They're not the only ones sports washing. China's done it. Russia's done it. Qatar's doing it right now with the World Cup, and FIFA's allowing it to. But the other issue is that LIV, to me, and David, I'm writing a book on David Feherty right now, and as you know, he's gone to LIV, and I'm a Feherty guy. But these are 54-hole events. I have trouble taking them that seriously because they're 54-hole events. LIV stands for LIV 54, the Roman 54. So they obviously want it to be quicker and they want to appeal to younger people. And maybe they're right. And maybe I'm just old. I know I'm old, but maybe that's why I react the way I do. I just like to see. I like to turn on the tournament from Pebble Beach every year, the tournament that used to be the Bob Hope, and see really good fields. That's just not going to happen under the current circumstance.
Well, I'll say the final question. This is perfect. I didn't know you were writing this book on David Feherty. Has the book changed? Because I don't know when you decided to write the book.
Yes.
But okay, has the whole thesis of the book changed? Did you have to blow up like 8 or 9 chapters when he decided that he was going to do what he did?
No, the thesis didn't change because the thesis basically is this is a guy who's lived a remarkable life. He's an alcoholic. He's been a drug addict. He went through a horrible marriage. He lost a son at the age of 29. None of that has changed. And yet he's become a huge star in our country as a golf commentator and as an interviewer on his show Feherty. But as I wrote to him, I texted him right after the LIV thing came out, and I said, you realize I have to now blow up the last third of this book just so you can make a couple million extra dollars. And David, being David, wrote me back and said, it's a lot more than a couple million extra dollars. and as you probably saw him quote, he was very honest. Unlike all these guys who say, well, we're trying to grow the game of golf, blah, blah, blah. David said, I did it for the money. And
for the money. He did it for the money.
I can't knock that. You know, if
which a lot of guys are.
Money, I'd have to think about it.
And see, and that's why, you know, maybe guys are uncomfortable doing it because of like, how could you do it? There's like this preachiness to it, like self-righteousness. Right. You know, shame on you. And I guess it's easy for me and it's easy for you to say shame on you because we're not in that position.
But he's offering us the money.
I just think, but my problem, John, is with the guys who have said, I would never do that. And then they wind up jumping over to the LIV Tour as well. I mean, that's happened a few times. Oh, what's wrong with these guys? This is the best golf in the world. And then they wind up going.
Because
it's hard to respect that.
Yeah. What's the old joke when the guy is offered $10 million to rob a bank and he says, no, I need 20 million. He says, okay, we've established what you are, but we haven't established the price for what you are yet. And that's right. That's what's going on here. And that's why it's actually surprising to me that Matsuyama and Cantlay apparently turned down huge money offers to stay with the tour. Good for them. And you know, Tiger Woods and Rory McIlroy could make way into 9 figures if they went to LIV, but they're not going there.
Yeah, tell me about it. Always great talking with you, John. Before, on the way out, tell us when the book is coming out on Feherty. Look forward to that.
It'll be coming out just before Father's Day in the U.S. Open next year. You've been there, so you know how I feel right now. I'm coming down the home stretch. It's like being in the 22nd mile of a marathon. You know you're close, but you're not there. And so
right.
I'm grinding away here right now.
Well, hey, look, man, you're in the middle of riding. Thanks for taking the time. I know you feel like you got like a piano on your back in that final stretch.
Yeah.
So I hope we gave you a little bit of relief today.
No, I appreciate it, and I will always. I'm thrilled to talk to you. I hope I see you at a Tommy Amaker breakfast sometime in the near future.
Yeah, I'll be there. Look forward to it, John. Thanks, man.
Thanks, Michael. Thanks for having me.
Hey, thanks for watching Brother from Another on YouTube. Make sure you hit subscribe before you leave, and be sure to watch us 3 to 5 p.m. Eastern Time on Peacock. Appreciate you.